Good morning, Doctor.
Good morning. Good morning. Okay. Today we start a new type of essay. طبعا we are done with cause and effect. Today we start a new topic which is ايش؟ argumentative essay. Okay. So we have a different type of essay. Now let's start with part 1. Stimulating ideas. And every day we are faced with ethical question about what we think is right or wrong. In this unit, you express your opinion about whether or not it should be legal to download or share copyrighted property from the internet. Even this type of essay is talking about when we write this kind of essay, you should express your opinion about something. Is it correct to do it or not correct to do it? So in this case, you express your opinion. Now, look at the picture here. What can you see in the picture?
A police and man.
Yeah. في هنا two persons in the picture. Who are they? A policeman and what?
And another man.
Another man. And then
Yes.
policeman and another man. What do you think is happening here? What do you think is happening?
هون دكتور إنه he was arrested إنه تم القبض عليه.
Yes.
For the man.
Yeah. So we have here the policeman is arresting
The man.
a man. Then we can say policeman is arresting what? A young man. Do you think the young man is guilty of a crime? Do you think the young man is guilty of a crime?
Yes.
Yes.
من نظر.
We can say he could have something wrong. He could have done something wrong. Or he might have done something wrong. So here, there's a problem here. Okay?
Yes.
طبعا تعرفوا يعني copyrighted property. Some people have copyrighted property. Other people, what do other people do? They steal their copyrighted property. How? They download of the internet, okay, and they use this kind of property to do something for themselves. So, question here, is it legal? Is it legal to down off the internet property or a material which is not yours.
No, it's illegal.
إذا بنقول it is what? It is wrong أو it is illegal to download something which is not yours of the internet to make it what? To make it yours. To make it yours. Then in this case, what can we consider the situation? This is theft. Theft. Or we say it's what? Stealing. When you use somebody else's property without his knowledge and use it as it yours, then what do we call this? What? Theft. And it is what? Illegal. It is illegal or it is wrong.
كمان دكتور بنحكى لها إنه هي assault on property، يعني اعتداء على الملكية.
Yes. أنا copyrighted property. Copyrighted. شو يعني copyrighted؟
يعني إنه اللي بنسب يعني حدا بنسب إشي مش إله لإله.
بالضبط. Yes. Okay. This is what? This is considered ايش بنقول illegal. يعني it's theft. Okay. Now reading about the topic. Many countries today are concerned about the ethics of downloading and sharing movies off the internet. Then, many countries are concerned about the ethics of downloading and sharing movies off the internet. The case of Yoshihiro Ino, and this person, which we saw in the picture, is called Yoshihiro Ino. And the person who was arrested by the police is called Yoshihiro Ino. So the case of this person may make some people think twice before downloading copyrighted material of the internet. And this person, Yoshihiro Ino, was arrested by the police. Why do you think he was arrested? Why do you think he was arrested? When he did something illegal. What is the thing that is illegal he did?
ما يعني اعتدى على حقوق أو أخذ شيء مش له اللي هو copyright.
He downloaded copyrighted material of the internet.
Yes.
Without the permission of the owner of the property or the person who has this property. Now let's read this paragraph. This is Japan or Japanese man found guilty. Okay, Dima?
Yes. For the first time, a Japanese court has found a man guilty of piracy and sentenced him to a year in jail. Yoshihiro Ino, 42, downloaded movies off the internet. He made copies of the movie A Beautiful Mind and then shared them with others. This is considered a crime in the US, Japan, and most other countries in the world. In Ino's case, sets a precedent for anyone who distributes film illegally. His crime was stealing intellectual property. This kind of property, which is someone's creative invention, is protected by copyright law.
Thank you.
You are
And for
welcome.
the first time, Japanese court has found a man guilty of piracy, and he was sentenced to a year in jail or in prison. Then here piracy. What do we mean by piracy? Copying and selling someone else's property illegally. This is a piracy. Then copying and selling someone else's property illegally. This is what piracy. Then, for the first time in Japan, the court found a man whom we see in the picture, طبعا, guilty of piracy. And what was the punishment for him? He was sentenced to a year in jail or in prison. Even the judge decided that this person was stealing something which is not his. So what was the punishment? Sentenced him to a year in jail. So he was jailed for a year, or he was imprisoned for a year. And his name is Yoshihiro Ino. He was 42 years old. What was his crime? He downloaded movies of the internet. Then he downloaded movies of the internet. He made copies of the movie, A Beautiful Mind. And what did he do then? He shared them with others. Then this is Yoshihiro's crime. Then what was his crime? Downloading movies of the internet and making copies of the movie called Beautiful Mind. And then what did he do? He shared them with others. And he gave it to other people. طبعا this is considered in a crime. This is considered a crime in the US, Japan, and most other countries in the world. Then this kind of action, when you download something which is not yours, this is considered a crime in USA, Japan, and most other countries in the world. So Eno's case set a precedent for anyone who wanted to do something like this. Presented يعني he was an example. Okay. Then Eno was an example of anyone who distributes films illegally. Okay. So Yoshihiro distributed films illegally. And what was his crime? His crime was stealing intellectual property. What kind of property? Intellectual. يعني مش material property, intellectual. Yeah, it's like mental property. This kind of property, طبعا, which is someone's creative invention, not his invention, it's somebody else's invention, is protected by copyright law. إذن في عندنا law which protects people who have creative invention. So, for example, if you created something, so it is yours. So there is a law called copyright law, which protects your invention. Yani, if somebody else steals your invention, then he will be punished in the court. Okay. So this is the case about what Yoshihiro Eno. Okay. The next paragraph.
أكمل قراءة.
Yeah, yes.
Okay. Today, over 80 nations have copyright laws. These laws protect filmmakers, writers, photographers, and other innovative professionals. People who download and copy these works often do not understand or care about the financial loss to many of these artists. To protect artistic work within the US, the Copyright Act of 1976 was created. Most recently, the Family Entertainment and Copyright Act of 2005 was signed into law. In addition, there are treaties and conventions to protect intellectual property between nations. One of these is the Universal Copyright Convention. Without these laws, piracy would go unchecked. Some of the many types of piracy include making DVDs, duplicating VHS tapes, using handheld video cam- uh, camer- came- cameras in movie theaters, and even receiving satellite signals without authorization.
Okay. Even today, over 80 nations have copyright laws. Even more than 80 nations or countries have copyright laws. So what do these laws do? These laws protect who protect whom? Filmmakers, writers, photographers, and other innovative professionals. Then these laws were put to protect people like those, the filmmakers, writers, photographers, and other innovative professionals. People who download and copy these works often do not understand or care about the financial loss to many of these artists. So when somebody or people who download and copy these works, they don't understand how much money these artists lose. Why? Because somebody stole their work. And in this case, if somebody steals somebody's or somebody else's work, طبعا he what this person will have financial loss. يعني he will lose a lot of money. He will lose a lot of money. Now, to protect artistic works, زي ما قلنا filmmakers or writers, photographers, what did the government do with the US? Even to protect artistic works within the US, in the USA, the Copyright Act of 1976 was created, and then there was a copyright law which protected those people. It was created in 1976. Most recently, the Family Entertainment and Copyright Act of 2005 was signed into law. برضو في عنا Family Entertainment and Copyright Act. This was in 2005, was signed, and it became what? A law. It became a law. In addition, there are treaties and conventions. There are treaties and conventions. شو يعني treaties؟ يعني agreements, legal agreements, and convention to what? To protect intellectual property. يعني مثلا, if you created something, nobody can steal this thing because what? You are protected by copyright laws. So in this case, these treaties or these agreements or these laws protect intellectual property between nations. One of these laws is called the Universal Copyright Invention. It's called the Universal Copyright Convention. Without these laws, piracy would go unchecked. يعني unchecked means letting someone get worse because it goes without notice. Okay. إذن Without these laws, and if we don't have these laws, piracy would go unchecked. Yani there will be what? A lot of piracy, and many people what? Would steal other people's intellectual properties. But some of the many types of piracy, there are many types of piracy, in making DVDs, duplicating VHS tapes, using and held using handheld video cameras in movie theaters, and even receiving satellite signals without authorization. Without authorization. Then these are what kinds of what of piracy. Kinds of piracy like DVD, making DVDs, duplicating VHS tapes, using handheld video cameras in movie theaters, and receiving satellite signals without authorization. These are types or kinds of what? Of piracy. The next paragraph. Yes.
Yoshiro Inoi is not the first person to steal intellectual property, but he is the first to be charged with a crime for doing it. The movie industry is Hollywood and Asia are particularly interested in this case because they have a lot to lose. For a number of years, the industry has pursued anyone downloading music from the internet. Now, the movie industry is following their example because piracy costs them almost $3 billion each year.
Okay, thank you. طبعا يوشيهيرو حكينا عنه, he was arrested, is not the first person to steal intellectual property. Then he was not the first person to steal such kind of property, but he is the first to be charged with a crime for doing it. Then he is the first that the court charged him with what? With a crime. For what? For stealing property. The movie industry in Hollywood and Asia are particularly interested in this case. Then the movie industries in Hollywood and Asia are what? Interested in this case. Why? Because they have a lot to lose. Yani, if you don't have copyright laws, then those people who have intellectual property will what? Will lose a lot. Will lose a lot. For a number of years, the recording industry has pursued anyone downloading music from the internet. Then, over many years, the film or the recording industry has pursued, yani, gone after anyone downloading music from the internet. Now the movie industry, this is the recording, بعدين الموفي industry is following their example. يعني they did as the recording industry what did. So movie industry is following their example and following the example of recording industry. Why? Because piracy cost them almost $3 billion each year. Then this piracy or this theft of intellectual property cost those people about $3 billion each year. إذا هنا في عنا إيش؟ في عنا financial loss. Why? Because of property. Okay. Then in this essay, we have what? A case. This case, we have the rest of what? Of the essay.
Yes.
Yes.
A major film costs about $80 million, $55 million to make, and $27 million to advertise and market. Also, many people believe that the film industry makes enormous profits. Almost half of all films do not earn enough money to pay back their investors. If people continue to download movies off the internet instead of paying to see them, the movie industry will have trouble surviving.
Okay, thank you. A major film costs يعني main film cost about 80 million dollars. 80 million dollars. طبعا 15 million of these 80 million to make and 27 million to advertise and market. إذن 50 million for making the film and 27 million for advertising and marketing the film. التوتال طبعا الكوست 80 million. Okay. Although many people believe that the film industry makes enormous profits, almost half of the films do not earn enough money to pay back their investors. طبعا في عنا ايش؟ concession. Although many people believe إنه الفيلم industry makes a lot of money, but here almost half of the films do not earn money to pay back their investors. يعني to pay the money those people paid for what? Paid for making these films. If people continue to download movies off the internet instead of paying to see them, what is the effect or the result? The movie industry will have trouble surviving. Even if people continue to download movies on the internet without paying to see these films, should result in movie theater will have trouble surviving. يعني the movie industry will have difficulties to continue in their field. Okay. Then هنا عندنا بالإسيه, what did we do? We have here presented a case of what? Of a person called Yoshihiro. What was his crime? He downloaded what? Intellectual property from the internet, and he used it with his friends or with other people. So what happened to them, this person? And this is the first time a person was jailed because of this. So Yoshihiro was sentenced to a year in prison, or was jailed a year in prison, or was imprisoned a year in what? In a prison. So to protect the intellectual property, the governments طبعا زي ما قلنا بشوية, US, Japan, and other countries in the world had laws. Why did they have these laws? To protect the intellectual property of people. يعني not allowing other people to steal what? Not allowing people to steal other people's intellectual property. Now, what is the result? If people continue stealing the property or intellectual property of other people, what is the result or the effect? What's the result? They will lose They will lose a lot of money. They will lose a lot of money. Because
Yes.
احنا في عندنا example هنا انه الميجر فيلم cost about 80 million. يعني if you want to make a film like this, you have to pay 80 million. طبعا this 80 million should be paid back. But if some of many people, for example, steal this film from the internet and download it, so the owners of the film or the investors here cannot retain their money. Why? Because their property was stolen and is what nobody paid them for what? For using this kind of industry. So this is what the investors in this sector will have a lot of problems, طبعا financial problems, and they won't be able to continue making such films. Okay, and this is what the case presented in this essay. Now let's answer the questions here following this essay. Now exercise 3. Write T for true or F for false for each statement. Number 1.
أجاوب دكتور.
Yes.
Enon was an employee of a Hollywood studio. False.
False. Then who was Eno?
He is the first person to be charged with the crime.
Then
To do
what
the
did you
crime.
what was his crime?
Downloaded movies of the internet.
Yes. Then was accused of downloading movies from the internet, and he was sentenced to a year in prison for what? This is considered a crime. This is considered as a crime.
Yes, crime.
Next.
Can I, Doctor?
Yes.
Copying movies is a crime in most countries. True.
True. Yes. Then copying movies and downloading movies from the internet is a crime. Yes. Next.
Fewer than 80 nations protect artistic works. False.
Mm-hmm. Surely, what's true? طبعا عندنا fewer. إذا بنقول إيش؟
لا مش fewer.
More.
Yes.
Then more than 80 nations protect artistic works. Next.
Can I, Doctor?
Yes.
The recording industry started prosecuting parts before the movie industry did. True.
True. Then the recording industry started prosecuting pirates before the movie industry did. Yes, they what? They did that before movie industry. Yes. Next.
These thefts could cost the movie industry almost $27 million a year. False.
Mm-hmm. Then,
3 billion.
Yes. 3 billion. Yes. Next.
People who invest in movies always make money. False.
False. Mm-hmm. Then,
مش always.
Yeah, we can say here he doesn't always make money. He doesn't always. Yes. Now, exercise for responding to the text. Write your answers for each question in full sentences. Then discuss your answers with the partner. Number 1. Why was this arrest so important?
Can I, Doctor?
Yes.
He is the first person to be charged with the crime of piracy, and other arrests may follow.
طبعا the question why was this arrest so important? Why was arresting this person important?
يعني الجواب خطأ.
Yeah. Why was this arrest important? أنت قلت he was arrested for downloading of the internet. So why is it important? Why is it important?
مش عارفة دكتور.
Because it's a kind of of lesson for other people.
For other people who want to do this crime.
Yes, إذا نقدر نعتبره هنا. This is a kind of warning. This is a kind of warning to other people not to what? To steal people's intellectual property.
يعني يكون example
Yes,
for
example
others.
for other people's who think of what? Of stealing other
Yes.
people's intellectual property. Okay.
Yes.
Now, what's the function of the Universal Copyright Convention?
أجاوب دكتور.
Yes.
Its function is to protect intellectual property between nations.
Yes, then to protect intellectual property what between nations. Now, why is the movie industry so afraid of downloading and sharing of films?
Can I, doctor?
Yes.
They are losing large profits and are afraid they won't survive.
Yes. Then they are afraid of losing a lot of money. They are afraid of what? Of losing a lot of money. Now, do you think Yoshihiro Ino should have gone to jail for internet piracy? Do you think?
Yes.
Yes. Why?
Doctor, because it is considered a crime or against the rights crime. Yes.
This is personal ish.
Yes, answer.
Personal opinion. Do you think Yoshihiro should be gone to jail? If you say yes, for example, he should have gone to jail. Why? Because he stole somebody else's intellectual property and caused him a lot of money. Okay? And caused a lot of money. So, if you are the person who somebody stole your intellectual property, then you will lose a lot of money. And this is what you don't like something like this. Why? Because somebody stole your intellectual property, and instead of selling your intellectual property, somebody else did this. This will cause you a loss of money. Okay. This will cause you loss of money.
Money.
Okay, now, what kind of punishment do you think should be used against people who commit internet piracy? What kind of punishment?
Can I, doctor?
Yes.
To lose the same amount of money that they will earn from this piracy.
يعني you mean to pay back the money?
لا إنه يعني حتى نحسسه بقيمة يعني العمل السيء اللي عمله، نخليه يعني يدفع نفس المبلغ اللي كان رح يكسبه.
لا يعني to pay back the money. Okay. طيب إذا what kind of punishment do you think should be used? له the person who stole the property should pay back the money he got. ممكن other people عندهم another opinion. ممكن تقول ايش؟ The person or the people who commit internet piracy مثلا should be imprisoned or should be jailed and paying back the money. Okay, this is what طبعا personal opinion. Okay.
Yes.
Any question about this so far? Any question?
No.
So we stop here today because the time is over now, and see you next time.
يعطيك العافية دكتور.
Happy